Okay, so hello everyone and welcome to our Study Abroad webinar. My name is Cornell and I will be your host for today. So thank you very much for joining us and making time to be part of this conversation. Now, the session is actually designed for students from Africa who are navigating the big questions about studying abroad, funding programs, eligibility, and what realistic pathways actually do look like. And before I start, or before we delve right deep into today's session, I would like to appreciate our collaborators, KSTEER Foundation and MASAG UCC for partnering with us to create this space for learning, clarity, and connection. So KSTEER Foundation is an organization that empowers young people through advocacy, mentorship, and support. And MASAG UCC is also an association for mass students who currently study in the University of Cape Coast, Ghana. So a very big thank you to our collaborators. Yeah. Now, before I introduce our esteemed guests, I would like us to engage in some um get to know each other, like something to just break the ice. So I would like us to let me share my screen. I would like us to let me share this. Okay. So a little icebreaker for us, just to get to know each other. Um, Okay, so you can either use the QR code, you can scan the QR code, or you can use this code. So just go to menti.com with your phone or whatever device that you are using. Let me also put a link into the chat. Just so we can know each other. We can know what people we actually have in our space at the moment. Okay, so I've placed the link to in the group chat so you can just join and then put in your answer. Yes. Okay. So we have in the United States. Okay, we have people from the USA. Interesting. Okay. From Ghana. Okay. Canada. Okay, it seems there's a lot of Ghanaians since Ghana shows. Ghana is so big. Okay. From Tag. Oh, okay. From Russia. Amazing. Okay. From Abuja. Nice. Okay. Hmm. So we have people from Russia, from Turkey, from the US, from Nigeria, from Abuja. Okay. A few more seconds. Okay, so Nigeria. Let me also join and add my response. Okay. Amazing. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next. Okay, so the next one. So what is your university affiliation? So we want to know what schools are you coming from? Where did you get your degree from? Or where are you currently studying? Okay, we have UCC, we have Westchester University, okay, University of Cape Coast. Okay, so there's a lot of people coming from UCC since it's big. We have people from Tech, from Legon. Amazing. Okay, okay, so from Tech, UCC, Westchester Tech. Okay, we have 19 more people to respond. Okay. Oh, from Austin Pay State University. Okay. Okay, three
From
more.
the chat box, we have UTAS, Navrongo, UCC, UCC, UCC,
Oh, okay, okay.
Entity, Obafemi, Awolowo University,
Wow.
um, and then you have Federal University of Tech, Mina, Nigeria. So,
Okay. Oh, wow. Just then it means it's a big house. It's a big house today. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So, what program did you study or are you studying now? Okay. Oh, apply statistics. Okay. Mathematics.
so BSc Mathematics, Mathematics and Statistics, Actuarial Science, Actuarial Science.
Ooh,
That's the text. So you can move on to your link.
wow. Okay, then we have here pharmacy, we have economics. Oh, okay, interesting.
BSc Mathematics with Economics.
Okay, someone did
Somebody,
physics.
yeah, somebody graduated in 2023 and did Physics Telecom.
Wow. Okay, nice. Someone did information technology. I can see that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mathematics and Statistics. And someone is in MPhil, Masters in Mathematics Education,
Wow.
B Audiology,
Ooh, okay. I've never heard of that. Interesting.
Audiology, then BSc Statistics.
Okay. Wow. Cool. 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 I can see it's a room of very, very cool people, amazing people, people who are in like serious fields. Okay. This is amazing. This is amazing. All right. So now that we've gotten to know each other and we know where we are coming from and the kind of people in the house, let's move on. So I'm going to end the presentation now. And thank you guys for participating in this. Okay. Stop sharing. Amazing. Okay, yeah. So that was a nice icebreaker. Now let's move on to the real deal. Why we are all here. Okay. So it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Theophilus Kofi. He's a visiting assistant professor from Austin Pay State University. And he's teaching mathematics and statistics, right? And his work actually bridges mathematical modeling, AI, data science. right? He's mixing all this to address real world challenges in health and our society. So today he's going to talk to us on how to navigate our next step after a degree. And since most of us are in STEM, yes, so after a degree in STEM, and he's going to also address some common misconceptions that most of us as students do have about like studying after getting our degree. So, Dr. Theophilus, you're welcome, and the floor is yours.
Can you hear me, everybody?
Yes, we can hear you.
Very loud and clear. Okay. Let me say, uh, big thank you to our moderator, Kondo, and a big thank you to the Early Smart Foundation and to MASAG for the invitation. It's actually an honor to come back and to my alma mater to speak to my own people virtually, and I don't take it for granted. So, and also to sort of speak with my own brothers and sisters, friends, who are, getting ready for a huge, step in their lives. And I know that there are quite a number of people who are so excited for today's opportunity and today's, talk. How did I start? So I started my academic journey at the University of Cape Coast. And after that, getting more, training, my career, sort of led me to my current job as a visiting assistant professor at Austin Peay State in the United States. I'm just telling not to highlight, but just to give you sort of context. Because when I sort of started my own undergraduate degree, I honestly had no idea what to do next. Are you surprised? If you're surprised, let me hear you. Say, I was surprised.
I am
Okay,
surprised.
then I'm surprised. Okay, all right. All right, all right. So
Yeah,
if you're here
I'm
today,
surprised.
don't be surprised. So if you're here today on the Zoom or listening to us from any platform, feeling that kind of confusion, just please know this right now. Know this right now. Let me repeat myself. Know this right now that, you know, feeling uncertain is not a failure. Let me say it one more time. Feeling uncertain is not a failure. It is often those sort of moments that where real intentional growth sort of begins. That is the moment where intentional growth begins. Because the point is this: if you're in your comfort zone, you don't grow much. You don't experience growth, right? So when you become uncertain, you begin to take steps. That is where growth begins. So in fact, that's a journey of growth. So my path after UCC was definitely not a straight one. So I've said it. So I'm being so frank with you because I don't want to sound like, oh, everything was perfect. Because the point is, I need to let you understand that life is not straightforward, and that is true. So if it's not straight, means your career path may not be straightforward. So I didn't have a perfect plan. Let me be more specific. Let me be very honest with you. I didn't have a perfect plan at all. And I moved forward without total certainty. Many people would want to wait until everything is set, until they are certain, until their spirit says, until they probably want to have a dream where God will come to them and say, start moving before they move. No, I moved without total certainty. I moved with that, with that conviction, with that seriousness that let me just start it. So what I figured first is that if you wait for total certainty, then you will just, stop moving. I know somebody's nodding. That is very important. If you wait for total certainty, you will just stop moving. So today, even if you don't hear anything, let this stick with you that if you wait for total certainty, you will just stop moving. You will just stop moving. So see, most great careers are built by taking smart, informed steps, even when you don't see, the entire, future road. And that is how we do it. That's how we build the career that sometimes you see most people have. It's not because they had a perfect plan. It's not because everything was figured out. It's not because, they figured out things or probably, they were so certain, but they took that bold steps and eventually everything begins to unfold. So over time, by continuous learning, finding mentors. So one thing that great at UCC, what I did even after UCC was that I try at every step to find mentors, people that I believe in, people that I know that these people, if I look up to, I will never be disgraced. So, and then also building relationships, you build relationships. So with the relationship could be with lecturers, could be people above you or people that you admire. And then also you are working hard in the process. So my focus, got tighter as I began to find mentors, as I began to build relationships and working hard. You see that my focus now become, tighter, and my direction, also become clearer. So today I use mathematical modeling and data to understand complex issues in social and public health issues, you know, complex issues in social dynamics in the public health systems. That's where theory sort of meet real world problems. I know we have quite a number of things that you want to accomplish and all of that, but as I mentioned, that feeling uncertain is not a failure. That is one thing you should understand. In fact, it is actually, as I mentioned, it's actually the way to grow. You don't grow, as I mentioned earlier, you don't grow in your comfort zone. So if you begin to feel uncomfortable, if you begin to wonder about how the future will turn out, it's just your spirit or your soul trying to tell you that in fact you're trying to rather making the right decisions. Okay. All right. So I want you to remember this, that action came first in my journey. Then clarity followed. What did I say? Action came first, then clarity followed. But here is one of the biggest challenges, or let me say problems, that most STEM students face, is believing that there's only one right choice path after even graduation, or even within your program as you're studying even your degree right now. You think that probably there's only one career path in your program. In truth, your degree gives you choices. How many of you knows that? Let me see. Let me see the thumbs up. Feature. Your degree gives you sort of choices, not assignment, right? So one choice is a graduate school. One choice is a graduate school. So this is perfect if, let's say, you love like deep research, long term like investigation, where you spend some number of time in school and just to investigate what is going on, just to investigate what is going on in your field. So it should be a definite choice. It should be a definite choice based on your experiences, based on information that probably you got from your mentors, based on information that you get from relationship, not just like more or less like a backup plan because you feel lost. That should not be your goal, right? Another choice you can have is industry. So you see, companies value hands-on problem solving, flexibility and proof of your skills. So for example, if somebody's studying, let's say, mathematics, statistics, when you are being hired, you need to be able to prove the skill that you've acquired, right? So one thing I also want to mention is this, that grades matter. So the grades that you acquire in school, they matter a lot. But what you can actually do matters more with the grades. So the grades is like a door opener, right? It's like a key to a door. So it will open the door. But what will keep you in the room, sort of, it's not that great. That a lot of things that comes in Do you have the grit? Do you have what it takes to maintain the room that you are in, right? That is so important. So another third choice is the research, programs and then fellowship. So you see, people often overlook this, but they can be a great way to jumpstart your career, especially if you are moving into like innovation or maybe advanced study. Then, finally, there's entrepreneurship and independent work. So let's say things like consulting, freelancing, like building solutions to real world, problems using your like a technical, background. But the main takeaway is this: a STEM degree doesn't limit your future. A STEM degree doesn't limit your future. It explores what? Possibilities. So a STEM degree doesn't limit your future. It explores possibilities. So you've seen different choices that one can make if you are in the STEM, right? That is very, very important. But here is, I believe, as I'm saying, as I'm talking, somebody may ask, then how do I sort of, figure out my path in my car? How do I figure out my path? So you've seen four main choices that one can pick from, right? So the answer to sort of to the answer isn't to think forever. It's to do like a structured investigation. So you need to ask yourself that even as I am studying, let's say economics, I'm studying technology, I'm studying engineering, mathematics, statistics, data science, computer science. I will acquire the technical knowledge. But you see, your direction is found where the technical knowledge you've obtained from, let's say, the actuarial science, from math, from statistics, intersect with your personal interest. What is your interest? What is this one thing that sort of, interests you? And what is your work style like? For example, can you work under stress? Can you work under pressure? Do you like to be in your one corner and do you like to work in a group? So you have to understand your work style. So as a mathematician, I would coin your path or your direction, or if it's direction, as a product of your technical knowledge, which you have acquired in your degree, your personal interest, what interests you, and then your work style. I believe we are all getting it. So your direction or your future path is a product of your technical knowledge, your personal interest, and that of your work style. So if you are still struggling to identify your interest, I believe one of the easiest ways to start with is your work style preference. So somebody may say, now, somebody may say, I structured one question here. Somebody probably um, maybe struggling to find out whether maybe to start with like a master's degree right away or getting industry experience first. If you're asking yourself this question right away, that between starting doing masters or going into industry, which one should I pick? I would say that start with your work style preference. How do you like to work? As I mentioned, do you like to work under pressure? Do you like to work in your one corner? Do you like to sort of to collaborate on a team on a team project and stuff like so you need to be asking this kind of and those once you begin to analyze doing introspection and those structured investigation it gives you a clearer sort of picture to know what to do. So do you sort of like enjoy deep long-term problems with higher ambiguity? So for instance, let me use in my case to explain what I mean by that. Like with a PhD, so with a PhD, what you basically the kind of project you work on is a project that nobody has done, right? It's a project that's the purpose of PhD is something that you come up with something that no one has done. It's not out there. It's not as if you're going to look at somebody's work and you reproduce the same thing. You have to come up with something new in your field, right? So it's almost as if somebody uh, has placed you in a room that there's no light, and a black cat has been put in one of the corner, and you have been asked that, Theo, go and pick that black cat. But remember, the room is dark and there's nothing. So you have to move back and forth. You move one corner, come back forward. If you don't find it, then you go this way. You don't find it. So is there's a lot of ambiguity in it. Do you enjoy those kind of moments? If are you somebody that easily give up? Are you somebody that easily give up? Are you somebody that easily over be like, oh, I think this is too much. I don't think it is worth my time. Are you that type? If so, if so, it means that research and graduate school are likely matches. But remember this, that you are trading, quick wins for fundamental discoveries. Remember this, that you are trading, if you're going for graduate school, you are trading, quick wins for, like fundamental discoveries. Do you also kind of, enjoy like a rapid iteration, like collaborative projects? I know I've mentioned this, and probably, seeing your solutions implemented quickly. Are you that type? If this describes you, or if this, let's say, defines you, then it means that industry and applied consulting are strong fit, for you. Do you also like enjoy combining the technical skills that you've obtained along with like client, maybe management, like the financial risk of building something new? So this sort of point out towards like entrepreneurship, like independent work. Do you like to work in your own thing, in your one corner? You want to be your own boss, that kind of stuff. Then it means that entrepreneurship may be one thing to consider. Now, I would say now, I believe somebody's asking then, how do I test these ideas? So as I mentioned, one of them is to know how you kind of like to work. Do you like to work under pressure? So you need to find your work style, right? These are things that helps you to really identify them. You could also be talking to people. And somebody may say that, oh, I don't like to talk to people. I don't like to talk to people I don't like to talk to people who are above me. And let me tell you this, and this is something that is the truth, but it is painful to people who are not good at it. When I was a student, one thing that, in as much as I was studying, I was studying very well, kind of praying as well, one thing that I did not trade for is my relationship with people, especially people above me. I was close to almost every lecturer. I was talking to them. And I know people was wondering, why was this guy always talking to lecturers? And the reason is because I knew that one day I may fall on them. And falling down on them may not only be recommendations, maybe for ideas, maybe for collaboration. So I started early, even though I didn't know what I would do next, but I had this thing in mind that relationship is important. So I spent time trying to talk to them. And through that, I was able to find out one or two things. As I mentioned, I did not figure out everything. But once you began to talk to people, if you find out that this one that they are doing and it interests you, begin to talk to them, it makes things clearer. Now you know that, oh, if I go this way, based on what he told me, I don't think it will work for me. If I do this, oh, I think that based on what he has told me, I think that aligns with my interest. So you see, begin to gather more information on the reality of the job before even you commit your years to it. Remember, for example, somebody in my case, PhD, you have to do your bachelor's, you finish 4 years, you do your master's, you know, maybe 1 or 2 years, then you do your PhD. PhD is also requires a number of years to finish it. So you really have to really plan and think about what really interests you. How is your work, as I mentioned, how is your what's the name, what like your work style, what's your personal interest, already I know you have your technical skills, but aside your technical skills, they must intersect your technical skills that you've acquired in your mathematics, in your statistics, in your computer science, in your data science, or what have you. They must intersect. They must intersect your work style and that of your personal interest, because that's what will pave the way. Because that's what sort of um, make the way for you. Like that defines your direction or your path. So that's something that you need to understand. Now, what are some of the common mistakes to avoid? Um, I've seen that many. Let me stress on this. Like many very smart students struggle after graduation. Oh yes, I've seen that. I've seen people with first degree, with like, for example, like first class, second class, even upper or lower, struggle after graduation. The issue is not because they lack the skill. Of course, somebody who does mathematics has acquired a lot of skills, Somebody who has done computer science, economics, engineering, mention them like of course you've acquired the skill, but because of simple mistake they could have avoided. Some wait until their final year to think about the next steps. Remember my story that I did not have everything figured out, even though I didn't know there was a lot of unclarity, uncertainty. But in view of that, there were a lot of things that I was doing behind the scene, right? One of them was what? Looking for mentorship. If you remember, I mentioned it. Relationship, building them, right? Now, others also go to grad school without truly sort of knowing what it demands. Somebody's thinking, okay, yeah, it's true. Many also focus on only grades and ignore building real world skills, forming relationship, looking for mentorship, projects, and maybe for me, let's say internships. Many people ignore all of these things because they think that it's the grade that would give you everything. One thing, let me say it one more time. The grades is like a key to a room. The grades will sort of open that room or that space for you. But what will sort of maintain where you are is not only the grades, it's the project. How do you work with people? How do you form relationship? Are you able to collaborate? Are you able to, sort of make people feel good when they are around you? These things, they are very, very important. So another thing that I've seen is that some also wait passively for opportunities instead of actively going after them. I've seen it time and time again. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. Others also don't realize how tough the global competition really is. So for instance, if somebody's applying for a school in the US, so sometimes if you're not careful and you are, applying with somebody, like say in University of Cape Coast, let's say KNUST or wherever you are, Legon, you might think that you're only applying with people in Legon, but you forget you're competing with people across the globe. You are competing with people across the globe. So there are a lot of things that comes in. So as I mentioned, your grace will pave the way. Your grace is one of the things that can put you there. But one thing that is so key in your application is the recommendation letter. And this recommendation letter would have to come from people who have experienced you, who have seen you grow, who have probably sort of collaborated with you on some project, who have who really know your story, right? Not people who can just give you like a generic, like kind of recommendation letter. Generic recommendation letter is not the best. Like the generic recommendation is not the best at all because it does not really speak to your skill, does not speak to your technical skill, it does not speak to probably like the project you've worked on, your like experiences that you've had. It can only probably talk about your grades. Probably you were first class today, you were first wasn't it second class, you had a second class upper, you had a second class or even a third class. It will only talk about it, not really give you like that personal touch. So that's why I keep mentioning that building relationship is key. Never underestimate this. Never. In your acquiring or getting good grades, never ignore good relationship. Good relationship is key. Relationship with your lecturers, relationship with your professors, relationship with people at your workplace, your boss, your CEO. I mean, all of these, they can change your life for good. I'm a living testimony to this. I'm a living testimony to this. Remember that, your grades, uh, no, let me put it before I even talk about that. You see, when you apply for schools outside the US, one thing that they are looking for is that does this guy meet the minimum requirement? For example, in my school, I had my PhD at Arizona State University. When I was applying, there was nothing like everyone who is applying for a PhD must have, let's say, 3.9 or 4.0. It says that meet the minimum requirement, then they'll put the number there. So you see, so anyone who has that can really tap in. But the question is, there were other things that could make you very competitive, like your recommendation letters. How strong are your recommendation letters? Are they really strong? Are they really speaking about your experiences, your project, and all of that? Are they really talking about the things that you can do and what you cannot do, whether you can work under pressure and stuff like that? Another thing is your personal statement. Did you really talk about your spirit? How convincing are your CC? There are a lot of things that were coming in. So, I'm saying this just to sort of point out one thing, that talent is important. Talent is important. Talent is important. Talent is important. I'm saying this. Talent is important. Your abilities, your skills, your inborn qualities, they are very, 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 very important. I cannot underestimate that. But showing the initiative is just as important. Talent, let me say it one more time, that talent is important. Talent is important. But showing the initiative is just as important. It's just as important. Now, STEM careers today exist in global market. I've said this. I need to reiterate that just to make sure you understand it. Now you need to compete well. Now to compete well at a global level, you need more than just the technical knowledge. I've said it. So you need flexibility. You need continuous learning. And I've also seen that some people, once they are sort of studying, let's say mathematics, they don't read any other books. They don't read like novels. They don't read news. They don't even read magazines. When they see the news, they just swipe it. Oh, I don't see. I don't like that. My only is mathematics. My only says you have to be reading. You have to learn how to communicate. It's very important. You have to learn how to you have to communicate your ideas. You have to send your ideas across. So if you're sitting in a room or you're sitting, let's say, in a room with people in your at your level or people above you, how do you communicate your language? These things are so important. So you have to read. There has to be a continuous reading. And toughness. You have to also be tough. But sometimes, as whether you want to be entrepreneur, you want to do your PhD, your master's, and what have you. You have to know how to remain tough in the face of adversity. Because sometimes, as I mentioned, your career path is not going to be straight. It's not going to be straight, right? So a straight line has slope or gradient of 0, right? So there's no change, right? A straight line has a slope of 0 or a gradient of 0. So there's no change. I mean, there's no change. But life is not like that. Life, you have to go through the roller coaster experience. You need to have that kind of experience. So you need to be willing to ask questions also when you meet people who are above you or whom you kind of want to seek out mentorship and stuff like you need to be very comfortable. Being comfortable to ask questions. I know it can be very awkward. Yes, I know. I've been in your shoe. I know it can feel very there's very uncomfortable asking people who are above you, especially people who is probably like a doctor. When you see somebody's a doctor, usually when it comes to this, I don't think they want to talk to me. Reach out to them. Don't mind them. Don't mind the title. Just reach out, but reach out in a very respectful way. Reach out with that mindset that their time is important and there's a way to communicate to people who are above you. You cannot reach out to people who is a professor or who is, let's say, a CEO, who is probably your boss, and treat the person like he's your mate. You cannot you have to find a way to talk to them. And when you do that, you see that, oh, this guy is serious, the kind of respect they'll give you, you will wonder, is this person really talking to me like that? It's because the way you approach the person. Always approach people who are above you with a lot of respect. It's important. Don't underestimate this. You cannot approach your professor like, Professor, I need a recommendation. Like seriously. You don't do that. You cannot reach out your professor like Dr. Empress and you say, Dr. Empress, I need recommendation. Like seriously, I will I can almost read. Dr. Emperor will say, like seriously, you need recommend. No, there's a way to approach it. Even the person will be like, oh, please send it, send it, send it. I'm willing to give you. Don't just approach it casually like that. It's not good. Don't do that. And that's why most people give up easily. It's because your approach to receiving gift, to receiving, recommendation letters or even support is poor. You approach it anyhow. You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't approach people like as if they owe you. Don't have that sort of mentality there. That mentality that seems like as if the person owes you something. Don't do that. Don't approach people like that. Make sure that when you're approaching alumni, you approach them with respect. If one of the easiest we can reach out to alumni is through LinkedIn. Could be sometimes LinkedIn is the best way to reach out to alumni because when you go to LinkedIn, you can search for UCC. Then you have other alumni there. Reach out to some of them at very strategic position that they can change your life for good in a split second.
Yeah.
In a split second, they can change your life in a split second. So I want you to note that.
Okay.
So it's important. So your degree, as I mentioned, will gets you in the door, and your mindset also will determine how far you will kind of go. So I don't know the time I have left. I'm sure I have like 10 minutes.
Time now. Yeah.
5 minutes. Okay, I have 5 minutes. So let me wrap up. So I would let me
You
finish.
have 5 minutes for questions.
I have 5 minutes for questions.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me use this opportunity, thank you so much for that reminder. Let me use this opportunity once again to kind of, thank the University of Cape Coast, to thank, MASAG, UCC, thank Early Smile Foundation for this chance to kind of speak to my brothers and sisters and to the student here. I would say that your future is it's not something that you sit and wait for it. It is something you actively build. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Now, if you have any question, we are going to receive like two questions. So if anyone has any questions, please, you can either unmute yourself and talk or put it in the chat box and we would address it. Okay. So two people, two questions. And also, Dr. Teo, whilst you were presenting, the students, they wanted to get a way to reach you. So we said you would share your LinkedIn or maybe an official email with them.
Okay. Yeah.
If that's
I-
okay.
yeah, yeah. That's okay. Let me quickly pull out my LinkedIn and share it.
Okay, so Emanuela has raised her hand. Yes, Emanuela, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
For LinkedIn. This is my
Okay.
Okay, so my question is pertaining to the building the connections. And I like to know, you see, sometimes during internships you get to meet people and it don't last for a year. So we go for internships for let's say 2 months, then you come back to school. So with those periods, sometimes okay, personally I have this thing on me. Trying to reconnect to them away from the workplace is a problem for me. So I like to know how or a strategic way I could use to maintain those connections. Thank you.
I just give me a second, please. I think that I just before I answer, I think I've sent my LinkedIn. If you can see it, I don't know if everybody can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, just a second, please. All right. So um in terms of with connection with example like internship, I know it's very short. It's usually like 1 or 2 months, as you said. But one thing that you need to understand is how you maintain them, right? It's so important. So for instance, I know that you cannot just be like your boss, for instance, like say if you had an internship with, let's say, Goldman's, let's say in Ghana, like internship with them, and you happen to have contact with a CEO. I know you cannot, I know it feels awkward sometimes to reach out to them every morning, like how are you doing? But you can be very conscious, like take time to really, build like to write down something and then send it to them, maybe once a month. With that, I know sometimes because of their time, they may not always reach out to you or even to reply. But in fact, it's sending out message. I'm telling you, if you do that, it is sending out message to them that, oh, wow, this guy, this girl, this lady is very, very, very important. And trust me, I know that you're not always going to sort of get respond, but don't be worried. When the need comes and you reach out for support, they will come in to help you. So I think this is something small that I'll add, unless, of course, maybe there's something that I did not say that you can clarify your question, that I can answer that back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Theophilus. So for those who have like further questions, you can, since he has shared his LinkedIn with us, you can go and disturb him in his LinkedIn inbox and bombard him with all your questions. And yes, so now because of time, we would move on to our second speaker. So yeah, someone, okay. So, Dr. Theophilus, thank you very much for talking to us and giving us clearance on what to do and how to actually view life after having a degree. So, we thank you so much for giving us your time, and we really do appreciate it.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome.
Okay, so our next speaker brings the lecturer's perspective on an area that many, many, many students find very, very challenging. So our next speaker is Dr. Irene Kafi-Vosa Amponsa. She's a senior lecturer at UCC. She's a founder of the MASAG Alumni Awards. She's the first president of Women in Statistics Ghana. And she has an extensive experience mentoring students through postgraduate applications and like not just that, she has really, really been very helpful to a lot of students, including myself. So Dr. Irene, it's amazing to have you with us and the floor is yours.
Hi. Good morning from where I am. I guess everyone is doing well. Can you see me? I'm sorry, I am on the road. And it is necessary I make this meeting too. So in case you don't hear me properly, just alert me, okay?
Okay.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, sure. Thank you for the opportunity, Kelly Smile. And although we are partnering with KSTEER and then MASAG, you made it possible. Thank you. So I would dive straight into why I've been brought on board. And I was given some themes to guide me to direct you on what you may want to hear about. So we'll look at the first one. What makes a recommendation letter strong and credible? First of all, there is a particular reason why you are coming in for a recommendation letter. A recommendation letter basically introduces you to where that letter is going to or where you want to school or work. And therefore, we want to look at certain aspects of your life. So it's a total package, but we want to look at certain aspects. And for a recommendation letter to be strong and credible, first it has to come from a referee. Depending on where the recommendation letter is going, one, the referee has to be academic if it is an academic reference. If it is not an academic reference and is going to an institution or a job market or a job search, your recommendation letter must come from people whom you've either worked with, or if I am looking for, let's say, a job in a teaching job, then it has to come from my supervisors or my former lecturers. So some people are going to look for a job and they want academic reference. It's not right. So first, the source, the person referencing you is key. Number one, the content of the recommendation letter is very, very, very important. And I'm going to straight to them. I'm going to mention the sections. The first paragraph is supposed to kind of introduce you and let them know how long you've known the person. So if I'm the one recommending Cornell, then I'll tell them I've known her for the 4 years she studied there, or I have known her beyond the 4 years. So if she's built a personal relationship with me, then I'm going to say much more than the 4 years of studies. Then, because when they bring out the letter, they give us guidelines as to what to speak about. So sometimes when you see recommendation letters in a certain format, it's because the university we are sending it to requires those sections. So some of us tend to write general ones that have the necessary sections that wherever it is going, it can pass. So the introductory part, then we come to the most important part. Where you schooled, the department probably, the degree you have attained, and the courses we have taught you. So they want somebody who has taught you something and how you fared in that course. So in my reference for students, I put the grades you got in what particular course you did with me. Even if you did project work or something, then it's going to be how would I put it? The courses, the project title, what you even said. So if you did research with me, I'm going to mention all that. Then I mention your overall CGPA as against the standard. So the standard for my university, University of Cape Coast, is 4.0. So I'll say she got 3.9 out of 4.0. It's very key because your pass for being selected to make the interviewing list is your CGPA. So that's why we talk about those things. And then if you had any awards within the academic setting, as in graduation, Dean's Award and all that, I'm going to put it in that section. Then I move on to your personal traits, personal skills. This is the section they will ask you, how well do you know the candidate? And most times we say very well. So if you say very well, then it means that you must talk about the person's strengths and weaknesses. Most of the times we just concentrate on the strength, but they will bring you another questionnaire. Some schools don't just get the letter. They will give you another questionnaire saying, what are her weaknesses? What are her strengths? And I will come to that. If I don't know you, then I'm going to give you a general something, which may not really speak to you. But if I know you very well, I can run Cornell down from A to Z because I really know her. So I wouldn't struggle in putting her interest forward. But if I don't know you and it's just like, oh, she taught me, so it is my right that she gives me a recommendation, it's not enough. Then we come to the section whereby I talk about your professional skills, analytical skills. If you have some software you're very good at, your language, good English, do you write good English? Because they ask about it. Then I talk about probably some other skills you had different from your academic life, which is also very important. Then we talk about your teamwork, leadership, and all that. Were you in a committee president and all that? Then in the last section, would be how will you be valuable to the school in which you are going and why you are going. So I'll write something like she'll bring a lot on board, but also learning from the diverse faculty members. It should be recommended, and that would the line. And if they need further information, they could contact me. So that is the structure of my recommendation. And this stemmed out of over 8 years of teaching. I want us to tell them what you can do. The academic one, all right, if you're a teaching assistant, your duties, what you do, how you help with research, how you do with tutorials, marking, and all that. Yeah. And if you are not a teaching assistant, then I'll ask you where you are working and the kind of things you do. Now let's go to so then at the end of it, you put the recommenders name, title, affiliations, and phone number and email, because I said I should be reached back, right? If they need any. Then I also say that it should give you financial support. I also put in that. Then the next one is how students should approach lecturers for recommendation. This is a very, very important area. Most times lecturers are very angry when people walk into their office to seek for a recommendation because you are busy at your desk, maybe even getting ready to go for lecture. Someone walks in and he says, I want recommendation. And he says, now, today. And it's be like, you've not pre-informed me before telling me that you want recommendation. So let's learn how to go about it. Whilst you are in school, building your CGPA, which is your passport for being selected in the first place, aside the GRE that you write, aside the TOEFL, aside the professional exams that you write, which will give you an extra pass, or there may be a pass with a emeritus flag. Yeah. You need to build relationships. So whilst you are in school, like Bless in first year, you meet your lecturer, they finish teaching you because you come assignment and all that, so interaction. When you are no more being taught by that lecturer, you should pass by once in a while to say hello and greet. Oh, I'm just passing by to say hello. Then the lecturer will be like, oh, your name again? And how do I know you? Because you are so many, we don't recognize everyone. Yeah. So if you keep on doing that, then you are making an imprint in the person's head. Yeah. And if you go for programs, workshops, seminars, there are people from industry and people you know and lecturers. Take their contacts once in a while, send a text message. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. How are you doing today? Oh, I was able to go for this seminar. I learned this. I would like to do this. What do you think about it? You're making an imprint. Yeah, and then as you are in level 400, the last year of your school, you tell them that I would want to further my education after my national service. Would you mind being my recommender or referee? The person says yes or no. If yes, they'll give you a contact card and then teach you how you can even use it to reference, like to request for the recommendation. So that one is verbal. Then when you complete, the person might have forgotten about you. So you write an email requesting for a recommendation letter. The schools, the letters will be going to, and you must attach your CV, your detailed results or transcript and certificate, and your picture, just in case the person had forgotten about you, to remind and refresh the person. So you have to build a relationship before leaving school. By the next time you're contacting us after school, send a picture, send your CV, send this, send that, send that. And if the person needs something extra, they will ask you. And that should be through email. Yes, you may have made an initial contact via WhatsApp or text messages or a call. But it has to be through email because I can lose my phone Anything can happen to me, but the email is forever there. So you don't need to maybe say, oh, I've misplaced it. So make a backup through email, and it has to be formal. Yeah. And tell me the softwares you can even use and or you are using. Tell me the courses I taught you. Let me give an example. And when I taught Cornell, I didn't teach her probability in first year, but I definitely taught her research methods, data analysis. I don't remember her doing stochastic processes with me or statistical methods. But now I teach probability, I teach stochastic processes. I don't teach statistical methods anymore. I still teach research methods. And so let me know which courses you took with me, and then I can go there and look at the grades. Sometimes your CGPA is not even that strong, but the courses you took from me are very strong. A's, B's. This will give you leverage. Sometimes they ask, does the CGPA of the student reflect her true ability? Sometimes I say no for some students because although they are very good, it did not really reflect in their exam because I know who they are. You see, so it's very, very important. It's not everybody who has the flair of writing exams. And it's not all first class students who prosper in life. Because it is more than when after being selected, then we go beyond your character, who you are. That is when a lot of first class students drop. So yes, you get the CGPA to get through. If you don't have, you can't get through. It's like you need a visa to come to US. But after coming to US, you can do a lot of things, yeah, without even really looking at your certificates. So, and then I'll move on to the next one. I want to be brief so that we can have more time for question and answers. When to ask for recommendation letter. I think I have tackled that because I talked about building a relationship, and then in level 400, contact the lecturer before you leave school. Yeah. And the preparation is more about build your CV. And this is something I think early small must do. You must teach people how to build CVs. People just write, I graduated, I did work here, I did. No, sometimes you have to tell us what you did, what courses you even took, when you went to the internship, which people must do, when you went to the national service, what were your duties, what did you really do? It gives you leverage. Let's say 2 first class students. They all have 4.0, 4.0. What makes one different from the other? It's your character you have built. It's the experiences you have. Please, are we getting it? All right. Then the next thing to think about is common mistakes students make when requesting recommendation letters. I've also said this. Let me know what you want, who you are, your CV, your transcript. If you don't have a detailed result, your personal traits. Just imagine they asking me, what is the weakness and strength of Cornell? And I don't really have that personal relationship with Cornell. Can I answer that question? And it goes against you if I'm not able to answer that question. It goes against you. If I forge something and they interview and they see that it's totally different from what I'm saying, then a doubt is created. So let us know. Everybody has a weakness. Even a weakness and a strength indirectly. Somebody is very calm and we think maybe the person is slow, but that is a quality that you need in certain problem solving areas. So your weakness, you can even put it in such a way it becomes a strength. So don't be afraid to share your weakness. We the lecturers know how to write it, not to damage you. Yeah, but and everybody is not perfect. We are all not perfect. Somebody who is very articulate, very fluent, blah, 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 you may make mistakes often. So your strength can even be a weakness for you indirectly. Okay, so build relationships. Don't just think that you have the right to be recommended. I have a choice to say no or yes, because the school even sending the request would ask me if I want to decline or accept, and I can decline or accept. And another thing, some of you don't even know the lecturers' names. For instance, somebody puts my first name as my surname. You put the lecturer off. You must, especially women lecturers, because our names are kind of plenty. You don't know which one is a surname. If you are in doubt, ask. It all takes a question. Please, what is your surname and which ones are the forenames? And somebody will put Empress Doctor. No, my Empress is just my friendly name. My actual name is there. So don't mess these things up. Know who is recommending you and appropriately address the person, because that's a formal letter. Are we clear? Okay. Let's move on. The last thing they want me to talk about is how students can position themselves academically and professionally to earn strong references. I have kind of told you the components of a recommendation letter. I've told you that. So we have to build ourselves towards that. As soon as you start school, you must start building your CGPA. It is very, very important from level 100 first semester. If you go to a class and a lecturer is advising, pay particular attention. It's very important. And build it from there. Then you know that your CGPA is strong. But whilst building it, also learn personal skills, personal character, analytical skills, softwares, programming languages, R, Python, go for leadership seminars, join, fetch yourself for some academic position or association position, like if you're in GAS, MASAG, or ASAG, president, financial secretary, organizer. GAS has something like, I think, data analysis chairperson, research chairperson. You can be that. You can do something in a group or by yourself. Learn a skill. Dr. Theophilus was saying you should be entrepreneurial, you should be innovative. Yes. If, let's say, your certificate doesn't help you, what other skill or talent do you have to follow? Let me tell you a secret. Cornell was my teaching assistant. I knew her very well while she was a teaching assistant. As a student, I really didn't know her that much. I only know she's a student of mine. But she's somebody who is very entrepreneurial. She engages in a lot of things. She has her own hair brand, hair oil and pomade brand with her sister. Yeah. And she's even formed a foundation. She's a part of a group of people who have formed a foundation. Yeah. She has been a PA for MASAG. She has done other things. When we are doing KSTEER, is also another foundation, which I'm the CEO, and she's a partner to that foundation. So there are things that will push you there. Some will just send you at the beginning of the start line, but then to sustain your life, there are things that will push you there. Make yourself an asset, not a liability. Okay, no, it's not only the book. And I think Theophilus really talked about this at length. It's not just the book. All you know is statistics. All you know is actuarial science. No. So make yourself sellable. Sell yourself properly, positively. Sometimes when I say sell yourself, don't go and trade yourself for sex. No, that's not what I'm saying. Yeah. So sell yourself well. And anytime something comes out of your mouth, it should be something projecting success, positivity, and everything. And anything you do it well. You must be diligent, analytical, careful, loyal. They want to see these attributes inside the recommendation letter. You must be friendly. You must listen to correction when they are correcting you and all that. And if you do it well the next time? Are you able to work with people? Because out there, whether you like it or not, whether you're quiet or talkative or whatever, you will need to do what? Work with people. And it's the most difficult things to do because people don't share the same values with you. So they make your life like terrible, but you must find ways to work with people. Yeah. So I think I'll wrap up here. We should rather ask the questions so that I can address them. Yeah. So time for questions. Cornell, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much, Dr. Irene. Yeah, so if you have any questions, yes, you can unmute yourself or post it in the chat box and Dr. Irene would address it for us. Okay, we have Emanuela. Yeah, Emanuela, you can unmute yourself or type your question.
Okay, so please, I have two questions for
Okay.
Empress. So the first one, when you were speaking, you made mention of visiting the lecturers on campus, maybe if they've taught you before. I'd like to know how many times in a semester. And then my second question is, you said when we are trying to reach out to the lecturer for a recommendation letter via email, we should add a picture. I'd like to know what type of picture should we attach to it. Thank you.
All right. Very well. Thank you, Manuela, for the question. We wouldn't want to bother the lecturers too much because they are busy and all that. So maybe at the beginning of the semester, you've arrived, you say hello. If you happen to pass by their corridor and you see them, you greet them. Because some students, as soon as you stop teaching them, when they see you, they don't even greet you. A hello or a hi will not take anything from you. So once you come on campus, the first, second week, you say hello. When you're going home, oh, I am leaving for the house, I would want to say bye and wish you all the best. It's cool. Yeah, that's something you should do. And then when the next question remind me again. The picture, it should just be a passport size picture, please. Don't give us a full show. Just a passport is the face we want to recognize. Or up to no, just your head, from your head up, right? Like the one you take when you come to UCC or Tech or Legon, the one you take, the passport picture they take, that's all we want. It's just to refresh our mind. Yeah. That is if you are not a very popular person. I wouldn't forget the MASAG president or the gas president. No, I would never forget such a person. Yeah. But if you are not that active, then I would want to remember who you are. Okay. So your passport size picture is enough. Sometimes emails have pictures on it. So sometimes I go there and I click on the profile to see whom I'm dealing with. I have some Emmanuel Obi, two of them. I didn't know which of the Emmanuel Obis were. So I had to ask one that, can you give me a middle name so that I can differentiate between the two Emmanuels? Yeah. So that's about it. I hope you have answered your question.
Yes, please.
All right, Emanuela. Somebody is sending a message in the chat. I would like to know if having a project work gives you an upper hand in any way if your program doesn't require one. Sure. Doing a research, for that matter, at your level, project work is very, very important. So even if you are doing mathematics and statistics and there is no project work attached, you can approach a lecturer that inspires you a lot and ask if you can do project work. Maybe you are in a group of 2 or 4 to do that project work. Sometimes the lecturer may have the time or may not, and the lecturer could also say, yeah, do it and let me mark it. So if you can stretch yourself a little bit, approach a lecturer. If it's not part of your course program description, approach a lecturer and do the research work. If you also hear that somebody is doing research and needs field assistants or people to work with, volunteer. So volunteering is important. You can also do internship at research institutions whereby you be part of a research that they have done. Thank you very much. It's very important. Yeah, it gives you leverage. Yeah, somebody's hand is up.
Okay, Empress, please, it's Emanuela again.
Okay.
Sorry, the last question just reminded me of something. When you began your presentation, you were speaking of types of recommendation letters. And I like to ask the question. It's not related to studying abroad, recommendation letters, but then, let's say you're a student of UCC, and probably you're in your third year now, and you intend embarking on a project, and you are going to seek for help from, let's say, a company or something, and then how will you go about coming to any of your lecturers, asking them to also attach a recommendation letter for you to go to that company and seek for that sponsorship?
So if I use University of Cape Coast and specifically Department of Statistics or Department of Mathematics, we have ethical procedures. You go to the HOD, the administration, the office, the HOD's office, and say that you are going for an internship and you need a letter of introduction. So for our department, we have a letter of introduction. So they will ask you the company you are going to, the address, what you are going to do there and everything. And then we'll type a letter and give you a letter to send along. So ours, we already have it in place. But I know that some of you want scholarship letters, and some require that a lecturer recommends you can come. Some of you want to go to do some program and they want a recommendation letter. So you either ask the HOD or you ask your supervisor if you have one. And if you don't have a supervisor, it's just a lecturer that aligns well with your objectives in life and you admire that person and you want to learn a lot from that person. Then just go to them and tell them. But first of all, go to the department, okay? If they don't have, then you can then approach a lecturer. Are we okay? And sometimes too, it is what the company requires. If they say from your institution or from your lecturer, then you do what they want. Because it's very good in obeying rules when you are being asked to do it, especially with internships, jobs, and what have you. Follow the rules. If you break the rules, they will drop you and pick another person. All right. Emanuela, is that okay?
Okay, great. So thank you very much, Dr. Irene. And because of time, Dr. Irene, please, are you okay to share your
Um,
LinkedIn profile with us or
I think Abba, there was somebody.
yes,
There are
I
about
think
two.
there's a question, but since we are also
Okay, so please publish your research. Yes, I published the research of my project students on ResearchGate. I've developed some system to be putting their project work there. And also, um, if it is master's or any postgraduate course, we publish it and it's a requirement for you to do. Now, please, would you like to share a project I'm working on with you for a more? Yes, you have to DM me. We'll do this back door, right? I don't know what your name is, but I see I
okay.
see I there. And then please, in the corporate work, can a lecturer recommend a student or it should be a recommendation from somebody? Yes, I can recommend you as somebody I thought, but then I'll have to concentrate more on your social life, your teamwork, your leadership skills, and all that. So it has to be written in a different way. So it's not an academic reference, it's rather a reference for job search. So there's a way we write it, but you must also look for somebody you did internship with to add to it. So you should have two people from internship or because you've never done any work before, and then one lecturer. If you can't get the one internship person, supervisor or boss, and two lecturers. So you must mix it. It's the academic one that you strictly need academic reference. Yeah. Okay. I am Cornell, please. Can you can you just with my LinkedIn profile is my name, Dr. Irene Coffee for Samponsa. So if you search me up, you can easily get me. So you can just type um that's my LinkedIn profile. It's just my name.
Yeah, so we would actually share that in the chat box for them for those who are interested in, yeah. Okay, so
Yes.
thank you
And
very
my email address is I am Ponsa. I'm typing it in.
okay.
I am Ponsa. Uh, ucc.edu.gh. So I am on UCC. That's and then my LinkedIn is my name, Dr. Irene.
Okay, I've also shared the link to your LinkedIn into the
Okay.
box here. So please, you can click on the link to enter into Dr. Irene's LinkedIn inbox and you can
Yeah,
further
yeah.
questions.
You see how efficient Pascal is? She was one of my best PAs ever.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you so
She's
much.
very good. Yeah. All right. So I wish all of you the best in the remaining of the program. If anything, you can holler me, right?
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay,
Welcome.
so all right, now we've had two major speakers talk to us about everything that we need to know to prepare our mind for applying for schools abroad. And now we are moving on to another interesting section that I know most of us are waiting for because even before we even started the program, a lot of people were asking questions. I need guidance on how to get admission to USA, Canada, Russia. How do I get funding? Now we are moving into that now. So stay tuned. But before that, I want us to just to make sure that everyone is still watching and you guys are still listening to us. Let's do something interesting just now. Let me share my screen. We did this before we started the program, so let's do it again. Can you see my screen? Can you see the okay. Right. So you can go to minty.com and then you use the code, or you can either use the link. I'm putting it into the chat box so that we can all have access to it. Okay. Where's it? Okay. So this is the link. So you can just click on the link and then you just answer. Okay. Let me present. Okay, so we have 12 people, 14 people. Okay. Okay, I'm going to wait for half. So I just want to know how are you feeling right now? I want to know the number of people. Okay, so a lot of you are saying you're excited but confused. Okay, someone saying calm, they have a plan. Some are overwhelmed and stressed. Okay. Hey, some people, I thought no one would pick this, but some people are saying they are just here to observe. Please, we don't want people to observe here. But anyways, if you decide to pick that, that's fine. Okay. All right. So a lot of you are excited. I can see that a lot of you are excited, but confused, followed by overwhelmed and stressed. Okay, that's okay because the kind of people we are bringing on board right now would actually help you fix all this. They'll cure the confusion and the stress. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next one. I just want to know if you guys were paying attention. So the next one is something on what Dr. Irene spoke to us about. So when is the best time to ask for recommendation? Let me see the number of people who would pick the ideal one, at least. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay, some people are picking right after submitting applications. Okay. Okay, it keeps going down. Okay. Okay, some people are picking any time. Timing doesn't matter. Interesting. Okay. And I think just a few of us have picked 1 week before the deadline. And some people, so the second largest group are picking right after submitting applications. Okay. But a lot of us, almost everyone is picking at least 1 to 2 months before the deadline. Okay. All right. So just not to waste more time. So the ideal time from what Dr. Irene spoke to us about, the ideal time is to ask at least 1 to 2 months before the deadline, just to give your lecturers more time to write up your recommendation letters. Okay, so now let's move straight into our next session. So,
Please, before that answer is correct, but the ideal time is before you put in you click the application button, submit. You need to alert them. Yeah. Because if you submit, the school, if it's a school that is sending the thing on their behalf, they will tell the lecturer. But you yourself have to tell the lecturer before you click submit so that they'll be in readiness. And if it is now like a month or two to time, you remind them. Because the applications, I can get 50 to 100 applications in a month, and it's a lot. So you need to give constant reminders, yeah? But let me know before you even send my name to the school. Because if it comes and you've not told me, I'll ignore it.
yes.
I don't know what other lecturers will do, but I will ignore it until you tell me that you've sent application on and I'm supposed to recommend you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you very much. So moving right into it. So we're going to have a panel discussion with students, people who have actually gone through the process that most of us are stressed about at this very moment. So we have four amazing students who are currently studying in Canada, Europe, Russia, and the USA. We have Eric Konyame, who is a PhD candidate in data science at the University of Virginia. We have Emmanuel Anan, who is an MA student in politics, economics, and philosophy at HSE Moscow. We have also with us Mr. Ayode Adeyemi. He's a PhD candidate in computational science and engineering at Kadia Has University in Turkey, Europe. And we also have with us today Mr. Andini Seko. He's an MSc geography graduate and graduate teaching assistant in Canada, who's studying in Canada. So let's jump right into it. So I'm going to be asking them a few questions before we go into the breakout rooms where you can all ask your intimate, personal, one-on-one questions that you have about getting admission, getting funding, and how to obtain scholarships in these regions. Okay. So just to make sure that we have them with us. Okay. Emmanuel, Eric, Andy, are you with us?
Yeah, Cornell, we are here. Thank you.
Okay, okay, amazing, amazing.
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah, hello.
Okay, great, amazing. All right, so now let's start the actual. I'm sure a lot of the students are itching. They just want answers to so many questions when it comes to studying abroad. So let's jump right into it. So I'm going to start with Onyame, right? What motivated you to pursue further studies in the USA? Why USA?
All right, so let me just go straight to the point. I would say it all began with curiosity. What do I want to do with my master's degree, with my bachelor's degree in math? Which part do I want to tread on? So that actually led me to research. And during my research, I found out some few things. One, US is one of the best countries in the world when it comes to STEM practical education. US is one of the best countries. So that is one. Two, it is due to opportunity density, a lot of startups, research labs connected to academia. You will find that in the US. And also due to merit and potential. So when you qualify, you get it, not based on background. So I found US to be in this direction as well. And then one last point I'll add to it is the freedom to shape my academic path. Okay, so from talking with senior colleagues, I realized that you have the freedom to choose the direction you want to pursue. So these are some of the things that influenced my decision. And since I came, trust me, is the best place to be. Thank you.
Okay, okay, amazing. I'm going to throw the next question to Mr. Adeyemi. So, Mr. Adeyemi, at what point did you decide to study abroad and why? Since Eric just told us why he picked USA. So, at what point did you decide to study abroad?
Thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here. I think one of the cures that made me want to study abroad and was actually one of the things that made me meet Cornell was my first trip to South Africa for the very first time for Imbizo. It was a computational neuroscience stuff. And I had interactions with a couple of people, and it was like an eye opener for me. I usually would not want to think about studying abroad. I was working in the industry, so I felt like industry was good, but interacting with them, it was an eye opener. Like, come on, I could do this. I mean, I met people that were they kind of motivated me to do better than I think I could do. So that was like the first inclination to me that yeah, okay, it's time to try abroad and see how it goes. So I think for me it was like a deja vu moment where having interacted with a couple of people and you see the cool stuff they're doing and by virtue of our interaction we're able to do cool stuff in the summer school we went for. So I think that kind of motivated me to go for a PhD abroad.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. So, my next question is to Mr. Emmanuel. What was the most challenging part of your application process? Like applying to a school in Russia, what was the most challenging part for you as a Ghanaian?
All right. I hope you can hear me. My name is Emmanuel, and like you mentioned, I'm studying in Russia, which is quite the stereotype is there. Why in Russia, of course, but life here is very cool. I mean, we do our day-to-day activities without not being in the fear, like as the media portray it. Well, one of the most challenging aspects is, Russia, the official language is not English. So when it comes to submitting documents and even on your page. Sometimes most of the public schools have English version and Russian version. So sometimes you have to translate if you don't want to use the English version. But then one of the challenging aspects is translating your document, getting your document, even your passport, your medicals that you have to do. You have to translate all of them and you have to notarize them to do. That is one of the challenging aspects. Aside that, because Russian public universities here don't require you to pay application fee. They just allow you to pay to just submit your document. And once you are being admitted and you have been given fully funded, which covers your accommodation and your tuition, you are good to go with the rest of the process. So that's all.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Amazing. I actually didn't know about that. So that's a nice insight. Like, I'm sure most of us didn't know about that. So thank you very much for touching on that. And
Oh,
my next question goes to Mr. Andy.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he's here with us. Mr.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know. My video is not working, so but I
Okay,
believe you
all
can
right.
hear me.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
I've tried multiple times, but it's not working. So
okay,
forgive me for that.
don't worry. So my question
Yeah.
to you is, how did you approach funding or financial planning for your studies? Because you are in Canada. So how did you
Yeah.
approach it?
So for me, the funding came with the my admission. So I did not have to apply for MasterCard or MPA or something like that, right? So it was my supervisor that gave me the funding. So mostly that's how it works for Canada, especially if you want to do a master's or a PhD. So your supervisor gives you the money to work for her and do your project too. Yeah, so that's how it worked out for me.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a follow-up to that, but basically that.
Okay, so that was like easy, almost easy peasy a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say easy, but you can't say it's easy because you are working for them, right? So you work for them, they pay you in form of like stipends. So
Okay.
you get that whilst you teach as well. So you're doing their research project for them. It's not a personal project. So
Mm.
it's like you are being employed and you are being given money. You are being paid at the end of the month. So something like that.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
That's good. I think that's good to know. That's good to know.
Yeah.
So, um, at this very moment, this is just a panel discussion, and after that, we're going to have a breakout session where each of you would lead the room and answer questions from students and like guide them or give them some form of direction on how to get their admissions or funding or the whole show, right? But I have one last question to Mr. Onyame. And that is, what surprised you most about the academic system or the learning culture in USA?
Well, should I say it was a surprise? I saw it as an opportunity to learn and grow, actually. Yeah, so I think when I came here, it was a bit of a culture shock, I would say. Looking at how you do your things in Ghana and how it's been done here. Sincerely, no one really cares about you so much here, but it's an opportunity to actually build strong relationship and strong ties. So I basically and one thing to the language, people from different parts of the world are all in the US. So sometimes there's this kind of communication barrier. But as I said, it's an opportunity to also learn how to communicate well and effectively. Yeah, so I think those are the two main things I'll say. And then the final one is actually the way studies is being done here. In Ghana, mostly we sometimes we wait for long before maybe you take a quiz or a final exams. But in the US, every week you basically have an assignment and things to work on to submit. So there is this kind of, let me say, there's this kind of pressure on you to always submit something or turn something in. Yeah, so I think these are some of the things that were quite different when I came here. Thank you.
Okay, amazing. Okay, so because of time, I think we are going to cut short the panel discussion and move right into the breakout rooms. So if you are here, if so to everyone who signed up to be here today, you all picked a country that you wanted to know more about or ask questions about on how to get admission and funding. So we are going to create a breakout room right now, and you're supposed to pick out the country that you are interested in studying in and join that group. And our lovely guest here would give you all the details. So um, we have the breakout rooms now, so you can just pick the countries that you would want. So we have Canada, we have Europe, we have Canada and Russia, we have Europe, and we have USA. So please join now and meet our guests in there. So please, dear guests, you can also follow them, and when it's time, we will move back into the main session and close the event. So see you soon. Please, if you are still here, please look for the breakout room icon. Yeah, look for the breakout room icon. Just click on it and you will see the names of the countries and you can just join. Please look for the breakout room icon. Click on it and join the room. Hello.
A TOEFL. You need to do a TOEFL. You need to do a GRE. Depends on whichever one they are wanting to do. But most of them are not. For people that talk directly to the supervisors, it's very unlikely that you might need those ones because most of the time, supervisor my project. Yeah, no, that was it wasn't supervisor of my project. It was a different person. That I said I sent an email to.
Someone else can come in and ask your question if you have one, or you can put your question in the chat also. Yeah, I can see someone's hand. Just feel free and ask. You can unmute yourself. Yeah.
Okay. So hello, Eric. My name is Vicky. I've had issues with the scholarship aspects of the application process. I don't know if you've already spoken about it, but then I would love you to expand more on that.
Okay.
How was it for you? Okay, were you specific with the schools you selected or you applied to, and how did you in terms of the scholarship and the schools, how did you go about selecting and then moving forward? Thank you.
Okay, that's very good. So let me just use
Or maximum 2 weeks. So once you know your status that you have been granted full funding, that is where your expenses start, because you know that every money that you're going to spend, you're actually going to leave your country. And it is very, very important that you don't spend money from the initial stage of your application. So we have, of course, financial mathematics here, which we also have related. Currently, I'm in the public policy analysis track, which is quite related to the financial mathematics. And the second question, please remind me, I think I've forgotten.
Okay, I was saying that I know some use AIMS as a medium to move to their respected country, like Canada, US, and Russia. I know Dr. Theophilus used AIMS before he left to, and I wanted to know the process as to how you'll be able to go through that.
Some people use what means,
Can
please.
I
AIMS,
answer that?
Africa Institute of Mathematical Science.
Oh, no.
Can
Okay.
I answer that? So
Yeah.
I also went to Ames, right? And I don't know if I really get your question. You are wondering how do we use Ames to apply for schools? Well, since Ames, anyone who completed Ames already has a master's degree, right? You can still use your Ames degree and your bachelor's degree to apply for
Right.
schools. It
Okay.
still works that way. Even
Okay.
even if you want to apply to a second master's in the States or in Russia or Europe or anywhere, you can still use your Ames certificate to apply for that. Or if you want to do straight into PhD, you can still do that.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'm leaving the group. I'm moving to a different group. So bye.
Okay. So does anybody has a question?
Your communication amidst communication amidst the people is also very pivotal. So you must you must sometimes be prepared for that life. You understand? Prepare for the life of having to learn the language. And like my other panelists talked about in Russia, you have to learn the language to interact with people. For people that are very interested in adventure, it's also a good way to learn. So I don't know if I've been able to answer some of the questions that I don't know if anybody has any other questions. Or like I said, if you have any question, you can please unmute to ask the question.
And the HODs of the programs I want to apply to. And I want to say this also. When you are sending an email, okay, don't copy the HOD, the coordinator. I know someone sent an email recently. For example, the person is from University of Texas, want a PhD program in my school. The person sent the email to me and copied about 4 different people, faculties on the same email. I can't respond to that. Do you get it? So if you are sending email specifics, send it to the program that you want to apply, the head of the program or the coordinators. You can send email to 2 or 3 different people, but send it with individual specifics. Don't just copy 3, 4 people on the same email that you send. That is what I will tell you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Any other question?
Yeah, hello. Hello, Mr. Eric.
Yeah, you can ask your question. Just feel free.
Oh, okay. I want to ask, here is the case, I'm in level 400,
Mhm.
and
Hi, Cornell.
Hi, Christy.
When it's 12:05, probably I'll give them extra 5 minutes, then we'll end it there.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Mm,
when it's 12:05, I'll send out a broadcast message that 5 minutes to wrap up.
okay. All right.
Okay.
Can you please check your inbox or something? Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything.
Okay. Please, if you're joining now and you're wondering what is happening, please use the breakout room icon to join your desired country to ask your questions about funding, admissions, and scholarships. So we have USA, we have Russia, we have Canada, we have Europe. Yeah, so you can use the breakout room to join, or you can just you can put the country you want in the chat, and I'll send you there. In case if you're having troubles finding the breakout icon. Yes, dear. One is back now from the breakout room. Okay, amazing. Okay, guys, welcome back. I hope you had a very good and insightful section with our guests. So, yeah, so Chrissy, over to you now.
Okay, so thank you all for staying with us until the end of today's section. We hope the conversation has given you not just information, but also clarity and confidence about possibilities ahead of you. Well, my name is Christina, just like Cornell said. I serve as the director of Ellis Mal Foundation. And before we close, I would like to share something brief about what Early Smile is and how you can stay connected. So Early Smile Foundation exists because we believe that talent is everywhere, but access is not. Our work focuses on supporting young people, especially vulnerable youth, through education, innovation, leadership, and compassion-driven programs. One of our key initiatives is I Too Can Do, which is about visibility and access. We create space where young people can see real pathways and receive guidance and also avoid losing time simply because they lack information or support. If today's section resonates with you, we would really love you to stay connected with us. So you can check the inbox. We are going to put down our socials where we have our WhatsApp channel. You can follow that for more information and future programs. You can also follow our TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram page. We also have a LinkedIn page. And also the webinar was recorded. It will make available on our YouTube page where you would have access to the full video. Also, we have volunteer forms. If you want to volunteer for us, if you are also passionate about supporting young people, you can fill out the volunteer form, and also want to serve as a mentor, you can also fill out the volunteer form to serve as a mentor to others. So before I end, I would like to take a photo because we want this webinar to be a memorable one. So if you don't mind, can you please turn on your camera so we take
Before we have the photo, some of the students are asking for the guests. So I've already placed Dr. Irene and Dr. Theophilus details, their LinkedIn and their emails into the chat. So please, Mr. Onyame, Mr. Andy, Mr. Adeyemi, Mr. Emmanuel, please share your LinkedIn or your official email with us so that we can chase you wherever you are. Yes. So if you don't mind, so you can put it in the chats for them. Okay, so I think we are ready to take our pictures.
Yeah, so if you don't mind, can you turn on your video so we take a group picture to make this a memorable one? Okay. Okay, I think we have a few more people to turn it on, then we take the picture. Okay, by the count of three, if you're ready, by the count of three, we all smile and take the picture. Is that okay? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think I have to take the second time. Okay, by the count of three, please, we take the last picture. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate you joining this page, and we hope this was very helpful. And whatever reason you joined the page, you were able to have answers to your question. Thank you for joining, and we are happy to see you. Please follow us on our social media platform. Thank you.
Also, so the final word for most of us, we told you we would give you a checklist. So for those who signed up, we will send you an application checklist through your emails, and then we would also assign you to mentors. Some you already have our guests, their emails and all that. So, but we will assign you to mentors who can also help you. You can chat with them and tell them some of your issues, and they can give you guidance based on their experience. So yeah, let's stay connected. Okay. All right, everyone. So thank you very much for joining, and goodbye.
And Russians will say paka paka.
Okay. Paka paka. Okay. Bye.
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 Gule gule.
Ayobide.
Christy.